June 5th, 2024, Board of Douglas County Commissioners, 5:30 business meeting. There are paper copies of the agenda, which is fairly short today, that are out by the door if anyone wants one, if you're here in person. And then there's a full packet available on our website at all times. First tonight, we will have a proclamation. After that, we'll move on to our consent agenda. And then we'll have a general public comment. General public comment is for addressing issues not on today's agenda, but otherwise related to county business. And given our limited time and need to have an orderly and efficient meeting, we apply certain rules regarding public comments. A recent Kansas federal court decision was provided some additional clarity regarding standards for public comment. We've updated our plan accordingly. We will do our best to enforce these rules consistently without regard to the point of view expressed by the speaker. And those will be that each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. However, we do accept public comment in writing at any time. Individual speakers may not donate unused time to other speakers. All comments must address topics within the jurisdiction of the County Commission. We also will maintain the decorum of our meeting. Therefore, we prohibit public comments that are threatening, aggressively hostile or belligerent, fighting words, slander, or speech that invades the privacy of individuals, unreasonably loud, disruptive, or repetitive, or that interrupt or substantially interfere with the board's ability to conduct county business. We do reserve the right to mute or remove any speaker who violates these public comment rules. Please give at that time your full name and address for our meeting minutes, and then address your comments to the commission. Please also know that comments received by the commission during our meetings do not necessarily represent the views of Douglas County government, but that we value the input. We don't usually respond to general public comment at that moment, but if you leave contact information with county staff, we can try and get specific questions answered. After that, we'll move to our regular agenda, which is fairly short tonight, as in non-existent. And then we will have for our regular agenda. And for each item, then we would hear from the staff, but we don't have any of those tonight. Lastly, a recording of this meeting will be available on the county's YouTube page. So we'll begin with a proclamation, and we have a proclamation for Juneteenth. And commissioners, which of you would like to read our proclamation? All right, thank you. And after that, we'll have someone come up and speak about it. So thank you.
This is a proclamation for Douglas County's Juneteenth celebration, June 15th, 2024. Whereas Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration of the ending of slavery, dating back to June 19th, 1865, the day on which Union soldiers landed at Galveston, Texas, with news that war had ended and that all slaves were now free, even though President Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation 2.5 years earlier. And whereas Juneteenth has become a tradition of celebrations that began following the reading of the proclamation by General Gordon Granger in 1865, that has lasted over 150 years and today is hosted in cities across America, featuring rich traditions, including celebrations in the form of festivals, parades, and oral histories. Also known as Freedom Day, it has continued to be a highly revered event across the country as a time for honoring one another and the memory of all those who endured slavery, and especially those who moved from slavery to freedom. And whereas Juneteenth allows peoples of all races, nationalities, and religions in cities across the country to join hands to acknowledge a period in our history that shaped and continues to influence our society today. And whereas Juneteenth today celebrates African American freedom while also encouraging self-development and respect for all cultures. And whereas Lawrence and Douglas County will commemorate Juneteenth with a number of events from June 15th, 2024, now therefore it be resolved, the Board of County Commissioners of Douglas County, Kansas hereby proclaim and celebrate June 15th, 2024 as Douglas County Juneteenth celebration, and calls upon all residents, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to commit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of our shared history and how it shapes our lives today. Adopted this June 5th day of June, 2024.
Thank you. Would you like to come up and say a few words?
Okay, great, thank you. My name is Donna Bell. I'm a member of the Lawrence Juneteenth Board, that organization. And first, would just like to thank you all for this commission's commitment to the Lawrence Juneteenth celebrations. You guys were partnering with us before it became a national holiday, and we appreciate everyone's support. This year, we again are expecting a wonderful celebration, and not just fun, although there will be a lot of fun with live music and food trucks and just celebration, but we've also made a very concerted effort to educate. We've had a couple of decades now of educating children, working with the Boys and Girls Club on what Juneteenth is all about. We will be having Underground Railroad tours and a blood drive with the Red Cross to really focus on the gift of life for people of color and their special needs for blood. We just want to thank you for everything that you've done to support us. And again, I appreciate all your efforts and this proclamation. I will talk with the staff because I don't know if they've made a request for contribution, but I will cover that separately. Okay, thank you all. And again, thanks for your foresight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. And just for the record, for anybody who might be listening or listen later, the parade starts at 11 a.m. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And is it heading down south towards South Park, and the party's in the park?
One big change, the Underground Railroad tours will be at 8 o'clock before the parade, and the parade is at 11. Kids Corner and the celebration starts at 12.
Great. Thanks for those details. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for covering that. So thank you for that. And that brings us to our consent agenda. We have 8 items on our consent agenda for not meeting last week. Are there any items on the consent agenda that commissioners would care to pull for further discussion? No. Okay. Is there anyone here with us today who would like to pull an item from our consent agenda for further discussion? And seeing none. Sarah, do we have anyone online? Okay. With that, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 8.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And that brings us to general public comment. Do we have anyone already signed up on our list, Sarah? Okay. Do we have anyone in the room who would like to give general public comment? Make sure you address your comments to the commission.
My name is Dr. Justin Spees. On May 24th, the local newspaper LJ World published an article that reported that the Douglas County District Attorney Suzanne Valdez would not be filing charges against me for when I was arrested here at this meeting on May 1st for standing peacefully and quietly with my sign. The subtitle of that article is "Public Commenter Won't Be Prosecuted After Being Arrested at County Meeting." LJ World shows a severe lack of understanding of the law and our rights. Being arrested at a public meeting at the direction of the government for no reason is illegal and a huge fucking deal. But you wouldn't know it from reading their article on it, because the article, of course, conveniently and intentionally does not mention the words illegal or unlawful when describing my arrest here that day. The DA declined to file charges on it because no crime on my part was committed, and so the arrest was unlawful. What makes it unlawful? Well, the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution protects Americans from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. Engaging in a constitutionally protected activity like I was on May 1st is not a reason for the government to seize me and search me, which they did. In fact, that makes it criminal. Since no crime was committed on my part, then no one was supposed to touch me or abduct me from this meeting. Making contact with someone while possessing a firearm, which the deputies did, is aggravated battery here in Kansas, and forcibly taking custody of someone against their will is kidnapping. I have the entire incident recorded and posted on my YouTube channel, The Dreaded Rabble Rouser, and in the video you can see Sarah Plinsky's fat ass conspiring with the fascist commission, the cowardly sheriff, his order-following deputies, and the incompetent county attorney to have me and Michael Irby arrested for our signs, yet only I was arrested. They all conspired to have me illegally arrested. Deprivation of rights under color of law makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution. So LJ World, did you bother to ask the DA if she was going to file aggravated battery and kidnapping charges against the sheriff and his deputies for unlawfully arresting me? Of course you didn't. Did you bother to ask the DA if she was going to prosecute all of them for conspiring to deprive me of my God-given rights? Since you didn't bother to ask the DA, then I want to know right now. District Attorney Suzanne Valdez and your deputy, Josh Shaky Hands Seiden, are you going to prosecute Sheriff Armbrister and his deputies for aggravated battery, kidnapping, criminal restraint, or conspiring to deprive me of my rights? Are you going to prosecute these commissioners, their attorney John Bullock and Sarah Plinsky, for using their government positions to conspire to deprive me of my rights? If not, why? LJ World makes sure to note, of course, that at last meeting I called Sarah Plinsky here a fat ass, which she is. They act as if Sarah Plinsky was more egregiously harmed by me calling her a fat ass than I was by having me illegally arrested. She had me illegally arrested, but somehow she's the victim in this because I said she's a fat ass.
Remember to address.
You gotta be
us.
kidding me. She orchestrated and conspired in my unlawful arrest, so boo fucking who that I called her a fat ass. You think that her ordering armed people to batter and kidnap me is not as bad as me calling her a fat ass? Actual physical violence against me is less reprehensible than mean words that I say to you guys. Give me a break, you weak losers.
Is there anyone else who'd like to give general
Try being
public
fucking
comment?
arrested for no reason.
Is there anyone online? Yes. Okay. We'll come back. I called for it.
You called for me up here.
We'll take the one online first, and then we'll come back to you. Go ahead, Sarah.
Really?
Sherilyn Wells, we're moving you into the panel. You can provide your public comment. Sherilyn, you're in the panel. You can come off mute and provide your public comment.
I'd like to address the situation with Julius Beasley and Tristan Hollins. They were both released from Lawrence State Hospital. And Tristan Hollins, my understanding, he was paroled here. And there seemed to be no plan for housing or support or accountants. And he, as you know, he ended up stabbing someone. Then Julius Beasley, who seemed to be in the same category, had exhibited some level of violence or threat, both of them. And the same thing, then they both had roamed around homeless. I tried, after Tristan Hollins stabbed someone, to try to have a conversation with Bob Triansky and somebody else. It never happened. But I don't quite understand, like, whose responsibility should this be? Lawrence State Hospital, the criminal justice system, Bert Nash? Because then, the community starts talking about that you have these violent homeless people and they don't want them here. I mean, Tristan Hollins wasn't even from here, and there seems to be no plan for supervision or housing or any other thing. And I just don't quite understand what the plan is. People say, well, we can't predict violence. Well, they had already exhibited, past behavior predicts future behavior. And there seems to be no plan exactly for people that are unstable and have started to be, violent towards other people, because people observe these folks becoming more unstable and appear to be violent. I talked to a couple of the homeless people, and evidently Julius Beasley had threatened to stab somebody else before he stabbed Crystal White. And I said, well, why didn't you call the police? They said, A, they weren't convinced that they would actually do anything, or that they would just come over to the camp and harass everybody. And I feel like there's a disconnect of trust in between the police and the homeless here. Maybe justified, maybe not. And I don't know how you address this, or who, since you have, different agencies doing different things, whose responsibility it might be. Because it creates problems not only in the image of folks with mental illness, people that are homeless, And, the fact that somebody was murdered, another person stabbed. On a completely different topic, I
I'm
am
sorry,
very,
that's
is
the
that,
3 minutes.
that's 3 minutes. Okay, well, thanks for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Would you like to go ahead,
Oh, is it my 3 minutes now?
if you'd like?
It's my 3 minutes? Okay. So much disrespect I have for this commission.
Please do address us, though.
I am turning my back on you in disrespect because of the way you treat people in this room, because of the way you interrupt in this room, because of the way your county administrator directs deputies to arrest people illegally, because of the way that nobody in this county can answer to me how that arrest happened according to the statute. The statutory requirements of that is that there has to be a disturbance of a public meeting. I've just stood here at this podium for the last 3 minutes and proven where you stand in the room is not the issue. Because I stood right up here, dead center of the room while somebody else was speaking, and obviously it wasn't a problem. So I've just proven that that wasn't the issue that the man got arrested for. So it had to be the sign. And the reality is we already knew this because we saw Sarah Plinsky over here arrange it. How much time do I have left, Sarah Plinsky? Sarah Plinsky, how much time do I have left?
You can address us, Michael.
I'm asking how much time I have left. Please hold my time. Sarah Plinsky, will you please tell me how much time I have left?
We haven't seen the sign yet.
Sarah Plinsky, once again, will you please tell me how much time I have left? My time's been held for the last 20 seconds. I'm waiting to hear how much time I have left. So we have, I'm waiting for an answer. I'm waiting for an answer. How much time do I have left?
There's a sign now, if you want to look.
1 minute is what they say I have left. I'm going to let them have that because what would happen if I didn't was that they would say that I was outside of their 3 minutes.
You can address us, please, Michael.
Therefore, my arrest would be legal. And actually, I can address anybody I want in the room during the 3 minutes that I'm designated to speak in this room. Like I can designate the Gestapo chief over here. I can designate the little Nazi back there that participated in.
No, this is a time to address
It's
the
important that we
commission.
bring up these issues, especially one day before the 80th anniversary of D-Day, when we had our grandfathers and great-grandfathers go fight against a little man named Hitler that Karen Plinsky up here acts like. And I say Karen Plinsky on purpose. She wasn't even elected. She was appointed, and she retains the power that she does.
Is there anyone else who'd like to give public comment that's in the room here? And is there anyone else online, Sarah? With that, we'll close public comment. We do not have any regular agenda items this evening, so do we have any appointments? Then we'll move to our memo from Sarah.
Thanks, Commissioners. Attached is your weekly memo with some updated dates. I'll pull it up here. Just want to, I put an update in there about Blackjack, the historic Blackjack site and some issues associated with that. And just Commissioners, you can read that. And if you have additional questions, you can reach out to Caitlin Amorine. The District Attorney's 2023 annual report is attached. Next week, there is a work session at 4 o'clock on the Burt Nash Youth Recovery Center. And then after that, we do not meet on the 19th in observation of the federal holiday. We will meet on the 26th, but at this point, there's no work session. So unless something comes up, we won't. And then we will not meet July 3rd, the day before the federal holiday. And Commissioners, that's all I have.
All right, Commissioners, are there any other items that need to be noticed for community events? Just making sure that Juneteenth is listed. Okay. Are there any other items for today? Okay, seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you all.